Hello and welcome to the final Tribal Council of Can You Survive District 13.
All right, can we bring our final two in?
The vibes are high here in the capital as we are looking to crown a soulful victor. We have Phil and Pat.
We've got Lindsay, Francesca, Luca, Renee, Kieran, and Aldrian. All right, we are going to get to our final tribal council. Phil and Patch, as you know, this is as far as you can go in the game. The power has now shifted over to the jury. To start us off, we're going to give you a chance to give some opening speeches before we transition to questions from the jury. And then we will close with some closing statements before we get to the vote and announce our winner. All right, Phil, as you have won the last final immunity, you can get to choose whether you start with the opening speech or start with your closing speech.
Oh, you can go first for this one. Thank you.
All right, so Patch will kick us off whenever you're ready.
Okay. Wow. Hi. Nice to talk to you all again. This has it really has been such a special experience, and I'm so grateful to have shared it with each and every one of you because it's something I've always wanted to do. And the reason I wanted to do it was because it combines like something I do every day in my life, along with something I truly feel like really needs improvement where I am at currently in my life. So like every day um I use strategy at work every day because I do coach skating, but I don't coach little kids in helmets how to skate. I'm an Olympic and world figure skating coach. So I use that strategy that it requires such flexibility and adaptability with clients and parents and negotiations between the entire coaching team every day. And I do speak in a very pragmatic go 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 type of way because that's just what we need to do to get the job done. That being said, what I think really needs to be improved in my personal life right now is I've really like lost touch of, I believe I used to be like this kind of like Peter Pan adult that used to have like so much fun and was so open and authentic with everyone. And I'm finding that I'm using the work life behaviors in my real life more often. And I'm like really shelling up quite a lot. And I've lost touch with a lot of, I feel like, who I am. And I wanted to see if I could come into this experience with new people and just right away be super open and vulnerable and as authentic as possible while maintaining a lot of strategic flexibility and adaptability within the game. And also to my District 10 girl, Callan, left us way too early. And I just think a great book ending to our entire season would be 2 light blue t-shirts. So
All right. Thank you very much, Patch. We'll switch over to you, Phil. The floor is yours.
Yeah. I'm incredibly honored and humbled to be sitting in this spot right now. And I say humbled because I know how badly everybody would want to be sitting here. Like our entire cast would want to be sitting here. I think that if you were to cut this season 100 times over, this would look different. Like our jury would look different. These 2 seats would look different. But this is our season story. And we are the 2 people here. And I believe that I did things in this game that got me to this spot. Very specifically. I came into this game and was shocked to know that the first name that all of you learned in this game was District 1 Phil. And for that to be the first name you all heard scared me a little bit right out the gate. And then to immediately learn that I was the oldest person in this game was scary as well.
So I knew coming into this game, I had to have a very clear goal and strategy moving forward. I think that throughout this game, I made decisions where I knew when to go slow, when to speed up, and when to hit the gas at the end. I think that's proven in immunity wins. Um, and I'm just really excited to defend my game and talk about why I deserve to win and why I want to represent the winner of our cast. I as well have things I have not shared, which I don't know if that will be questions, but career wise, I do work with college students, but I'm the director of an organization that actually has 625 student volunteers. And we do retreats where we play survivor games like this that I've built. So maybe why some of these were not as hard or awkward for me. But there are other things just like that that I'm just really excited to talk about and share with y'all. And I really look forward to y'all's questions. So bring it on.
Thank you so much, Phil. All right, we will now turn the floor over to our jury. I'll ask that when you do your jury question, you just come right up next to the podium and address the two of them. So we will start with Lindsay. Come on up.
Hi guys, I'm so proud of you. It's so fun to watch you both. So obviously, like you mentioned, district partners were a huge twist in this game that we started off with. So my question for you both is, what's one way your relationship with your district partner affected your game, and how did you use it to your advantage?
You need to go first.
You can pick who goes first.
Oh, I'll start with Phil.
Okay. This is a great question. Because I don't know if y'all ever found this out. But my district partner scared me immediately because I have played another game. I have played another LRG, and I have played with Champagne. And the fact that we were the first two names called out had me immediately worried. And we immediately decided we are not going to tell anyone that we have played a game together because I didn't know if that was going to be a factor in other relationships. And I didn't know why we were paired together. So the way that it helped me was we have already interacted to a degree. The difference is she went out pretty early in that game and we never got to work together. So we didn't really know each other. So in a way, we were forming a relationship for the first time. And I had to just put a lot of trust that she wouldn't potentially blow up my game and talk about how well I did in the other LRG. And I didn't win it. And I made mistakes in that game. But I had to put a lot of faith in her and believe that she was going to work with me. One of the other good things that she did that helped me in this game was remind me to come off the gas a little bit. Y'all may not know this, but in the very first clock challenge, we did the 11 stations and we finished the Roman numeral puzzle well before everyone else. And we were just sitting there with one piece out because we did not want to win that challenge first. And she was like, we don't want to win this. We don't need a District 1 target right away. And so it reminded me that you have to be able to back off a little bit. And Champagne is great at that. And so it helped even just set up my momentum in the game.
Thank you.
Meeting Callan for that first day was, I think, exactly what I needed because she's just so lovely and open, and it's easy to make a connection with. And that was my biggest fear coming into this game. So I really wanted, it just allowed me to open up to her right away. And I felt very safe. So I allowed myself to just play that first day. And I feel like that really helped me just get a lot of my defenses down that I was trying to get rid of while I came into the game. Throughout the first day, as I started to, work with her to make relationships with other tributes in different districts. Unfortunately, she did leave very early, so I chose that opportunity to just focus on myself because we had made plans of let's try to help each other out while we're on separate tribes, and I was very committed to that. But I then realized, well, I don't have that person anymore, so now I have to do it myself, so then I just ran with that.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. All right, our next jury member will be Cod.
Okay, hi. Great to see you too. As original Caribou members, you had a lot of downtime on that first full day. What did you do to strategize during all those hours in that fugly camp?
Dan. You want me to go first?
You can choose it this time.
We can start with Pat.
Sure. Yes. There wasn't a lot of like verbal strategy happening there. We did as a group, we did a lot of sitting, quite frankly. But I took that opportunity to really observe. I wanted to piece everyone on like a map with like the string and just be like, who's talking to who, what groups are forming, like who keeps consistently meeting up with a different person. And I kind of just kept track of that in the back of my brain because I wanted to then choose where I wanted to go and that go from one person in that group and then follow them to the next group, kind of in like follow behind them, like follow them around the map a little bit separately. So I just did a lot of like data. Like I did a lot of just observing where everyone was going.
Yeah. Very similar to Patch. That was one of my strategies was I want to watch and see what everybody is doing, and play a very observant game. I would say additional things that I did was I would sit back and wait. I wanted to see who was going to come to me because who would come to me shows me that they want to work with me. They want to have conversations. Who would be the one drawing me out 2 or 3 times to have conversations? That was really important to me because I knew I could solidify those routes. And the other thing, I just listened a lot because in my job I work with college students and I train and develop them as leaders, and my job is to like make them become the best versions of themselves as they're growing and developing. So in a position like that, when I can like listen and hear people's stories and ask them questions, I know that that's going to just help me. It's just who I am as a person, but I also know that it's going to give me agency in the game and relationships to be able to move forward.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cod. All right, the next person I will have come on up from the jury is Nick.
Good job, guys. It's good to see you. My question for you. So mental and strategic resilience is an extremely important part of surviving. Tell me the time you used both of those to keep going in this game. Start with you, Phil.
It was after your vote. That was the one vote, which is very interesting. I never had to go to tribal until this. So the only people that I even voted for in this game are the people sitting here. And your vote was the one vote that was a blindside to me. And it was the moment where I thought, have I lost agency in this game? And then we come up to the field and we do an endurance challenge where this 45-year-old guy is going to have to hold his arm above his head. I lasted maybe 10 minutes standing up against some giants who just like plowed that for hours. And it just had me sitting on the field, like processing where I was in the game. Have I lost agency? Do I even have a path forward? And can I even just continue to perform up against some people who are really, really powerful players? But I had a moment where I allowed myself to feel it break down. And then I said, get back up. Like, don't quit. And I told myself coming into this game, I'm not going to quit. And so I got up from that moment and then I went back to camp and I started maneuvering. I didn't discount Patch, even though he voted against in that move. I didn't vote out Aldrian, who had voted for me. And I just reformed those relationships. 2 people who had just moved against me to form a final 3.
I have to say my timing is actually pretty similar to Phil's. It would be immediately after your vote out with starting right as the torch was snapped, knowing that there was going to be a lot of damage control I needed to do back in the camp. And I was exceptionally nervous about that because I had partially blown up portions of people's games. I have completely started like basically got naked in the game to start over. And so I knew that the cleanup from that was going to have to be fast, and it was going to have to be to the point, and it needed to be really, really exact and honest. And so I used that opportunity to talk to the people I needed to speak with, of who were very much left out of the vote, to explain why I left them out of the vote, and to rebuild those relationships instantly as much as possible and as quickly as they were willing to allow me to do so. Because yes, we did have to go to that challenge where, I mean, I got back and I had conversations with Kieran, Phil, and especially Aldi, Aldi, and I needed to mend those relationships right away. And it was going into that endurance challenge right after was so tough for me, because not physically, but it was really tough mentally, because Aldi and I still were trying to figure out how we were going to work together. And I needed to prove to her that I was still with her, and I just needed to trust the longevity of my strategy with everything, that it would come together. And so that moment to me was probably it as well.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Good
you.
All
luck.
right. Thank you, Nick. All right, we'll invite Francesca up as our next juror.
Hi guys, I'm so glad to see you both. I know people in Survivor always say this, but my vote is truly up in the air. So like honestly, so my question to you is, if the person sitting next to you won, why? Why would be the reason why?
It's separate. And choose who starts.
Oh, Pat.
I think beyond being an amazing human, Phil, I mean, let's call it spade a spade, he won 4 community challenges. That's unbelievable. And I think he has played a very calm and consistent game. And I think he has played a very welcoming game of just really hearing what everyone has to say and not closing any windows on anyone.
Agreeing that you're an amazing human being. I think that Patch's strength was his social ability. I think that he knew how to maneuver in and out of relationships, and play in a way where people were not going to discount him as someone who would align with them. And he left himself really open to all of those relationships, which I think is like surprising in a game like this, because you want to draw lines, and he wasn't going to draw lines. He left every option open. So that's, I think, what would be something that set him apart.
Thank you guys. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Francesca. All right, next we will invite up Aldrian.
Long time no see. I'm falling over. My question is, what is one movie made in the game that surprised you about yourself? And we can start with Bill.
Man, that's a really good question. I think that it may be that I actually did hold back in this game. I'm someone who directs and leads and charges forward and makes decisions and is not willing to like just go hard. And sitting back and actually just being patient was really hard for me. An actual like former winner of this game told me, be patient, like hold yourself back and don't just go hard. And that was really difficult for me to do. I think that that is what allowed me to see the path that I needed to take with different people. I think if I was going too hard forward, I would have missed opportunities. I think one of those was you. I might have missed it. But I saw a route where I was like, okay, this is someone that I really need to work with. I think you're someone that I could talk about in a minute, but it was observed early on that I was like, this is someone I better get close to in this game. because there's a lot of agency socially that she has right now. But it was because I was holding back, which is not normal for me. So that's probably something that did surprise me about myself, other than being 45 years old and competing as I did in this game.
I think the move that most surprised me was actually the Gideon move pre-merge, because it was the first time that I really trusted my gut and really pushed for what I wanted in the vote, and really like scrambled in the field to make it happen. And it happened, and I was extremely proud of myself. And I think that opened up a lot of opportunity for me to allow myself to just play big and play hard. So I think that kind of like had a trickle down effect on a lot of other decisions I made, because it gave me it allowed me to play that way versus hiding from it, which I feared I would.
Amazing. Thank you both. Good luck.
Thanks, Aldrin.
So much, Aldrin. All right, the next player we're going to invite up is Leo.
Congratulations to you both. I know, speaking with my fellow jurors, very, very open. So appreciate all the honesty. We're going to be going in a bit of a different flavor with individual questions for both of you based upon our interactions and observations as a jury. So who wants to start?
You started last, right?
All right, for Patch. So during our double blind side of Nick, you came up to me right before we were leaving for the vote and said, I'm in. I may be blowing up my game, but let's do it. A little unsettling for me. My question is, do you think that you thought through your decisions enough before making decisions?
Oh, I'm actually glad you asked that, because this being my first time doing this, there are definite decisions that I was like, whoa, you like slow down. Like you have to really think this through. And I think I got so much better at it as the game went along. I definitely made mistakes in this game, and I definitely was very rash, and it's very much like me. And I mean, I did a lot of strategizing earlier where I know both Nick and Aldi were kind of like, what are you talking about? I can't even follow this, right? And I was like, but it makes sense to me and we have to do it. So I do think there are moments I definitely could have slowed down and thought it through a bit more, for sure. Yeah.
Amazing. Appreciate that. All right, ready, Phil?
I guess.
So according to the jury's recollection, Patch was actually on the correct side of every vote in the game.
Yeah.
You were on the wrong side of 3 of our votes, mine being one of them, Nick's and Francesca's, not voting in the majority. Should the jury think that Patch had a better pulse on the game than you?
You said it was Nick's, yours, and who?
Francesca. That was the recollection that you had voted for me during that.
I voted for Francesca. Yeah. So I would say I was on the wrong side of one vote. I voted for Francesca, and your vote, I knew exactly where the votes were going on your vote. I played my 50-50 so that I would ensure I would have my vote for the next vote, because we knew that we needed my vote then. I knew I needed my vote then. And so I was willing to give up my vote, but in that time, that's where I started really working the people around me. That's where I built trust back enough with him that he was willing to share with me that he had an extra vote. That's where a plan was forged, where we were going to ensure that without my vote, they would not go home. And so my vote wasn't necessary, but you were the target, and I knew you were the target.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leo. All right, we will invite Rita up.
Thank you. Congratulations to both of you. So very well deserved. And I'm so proud of both of you. Listen carefully, because much like you might remember from my strategic conversations, I have lots of run-on thoughts and run-on sentences that sometimes come together and make sense and sometimes don't. This is a 3-part question.
I'd be repeating you.
And I'll just to let you prepare, Phil, I would like you to answer first.
Okay.
What is one move, strategic, social, or otherwise, that you regret? What are what were the repercussions of that move, and how did you navigate them?
A move I regret, the repercussions of it,
And how you navigated those repercussions?
and how I navigated those. Oh, that's really hard. I think that I don't know. Oh, it's hard to know what repercussions may. Okay, I'll say this. I say um, the the move that I regret, like I think actually involves you, Cod, because whenever it was about to be your vote, I think I just distanced myself from you because I didn't know how I was going to look at you and figure out to lie because you're just so good. And I think you would see through it and know. And so I just kind of moved around to where we wouldn't be talking, even though I knew that you were going to be the vote and I was voting for you. And so I don't really know what like real repercussions there were from that, except maybe just regret that I didn't at least just talk with you to see where you were at in the game at that point. Um, and what was the other part if I
How
missed
did you
it?
navigate the repercussions? So I guess that regret, what impacted
Yeah,
that?
I don't really know what moving forward, what I had to navigate from that. I don't really know if I had to like navigate anything after that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Um, I think the move that I regret the most actually kind of coincides with what Leo's question was, where I got a little hasty. And it was when Original Caribou lost their first challenge, and the five of us came down to Original Goddard. Five of us came down to Original Goddard, and we were sitting with everyone. We told stories and everything, and then suddenly Goddard got up and like strategized, and we were all kind of like, "Oh, this is what you do." Okay, so then I was like, great, I can do this. Like, let me keep up. So then I literally went, I think, to every person. And I was in the back of my head, I always knew that I was working very closely with Nick. And I always knew that I had to get him out before he would get me out. So I created the like this garden of seeds for this like Nick vote out in the future with everyone that really kind of came back to haunt me because when we did the swap with the 5-1, then Sean came to our tribe and was like, "Hey, I'm ready. Let's do it." And I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" He's like, "The plan, it's fine. You know, Leo told us all about it." And I was like, "Wait a second. This got so out of control." And so I knew there were a lot of people on the other side who were ready to work with me, but I hadn't laid down the foundation for that to happen appropriately. So I had to fix that with it was a very bumpy path. I have to say it was not the smoothest, but I am proud of how I fixed it because I think I still remained very open to working with everyone who wanted to work with me from those conversations on that move I made. And it did lead to some very big votes that happened throughout this merge portion of the game. And I think it really led to some creative strategy throughout the game. But it just, I had to just take, like, put the brakes on and I had to sit back. And that's why with Lindsay, when you wanted to make that big move, that I had to stop it because I was like, it's just not the right time for me to make this move because I haven't thought it out and I have for sure gotten ahead of myself.
And I think you made that the move at probably the right time because you're sitting here.
Exactly.
Thank you both. Congratulations to you both. I've learned so much from both of you, and I'm so happy I got to play with you. Truly, congratulations.
All right, we'll bring up Karen.
Hi guys, congratulations. I'm so excited for both of you. It's an amazing final two and you guys deserve it so much. And I'm so happy that one of you will represent the season for us. So y'all are amazing. My question is something we've actually talked about a lot in our camp discussions, just when we're hanging out in our downtime. But for everyone else. What is one thing you learned about yourself in this game that you will take with you beyond this game? And Patch, would you like to go first?
Yeah. Um, I I've learned that. Oof, okay. I am going to go back to the Nick vote because this is a very pivotal moment in my journey of this game, and I apologize for continually bringing it back to this vote. But what I learned is that I entered this game because I have a past, a history of really just kind of following and waiting for someone to tell me what to do. And I entered this game being like, you cannot do that. You can't drive 7 hours and spend all this time here and just play a game that you are not going to be proud of in the end. And I was working closely with Nick, and it I came to the realization that I wasn't providing enough input from my end because he was super confident with the input he was providing me and the information he was providing me. So I was allowing myself to fall on the crutch of this very big shield that I was working with purposefully, but I wasn't taking ownership for my game. And so I had to learn how to just like buckle up, make the move, deal with the consequences that did happen, and just build yourself back up. Like I said, when I woke up this morning for the 7 with the Leo vote, I was actually convinced it was me leaving, and I was so close to playing my idol because I didn't want to go home, but I just started to just trust myself and be like, no, you can fix this. Go have the conversations. Go make the necessary steps to make it happen, and you will be fine. Like, this is a game, and you will be fine. It doesn't have to be that high stakes. So I know it may seem kind of like minuscule to a lot of people, but pushing myself out there for what I want to do is a very uncomfortable feeling for me. And so I'm going to definitely try to take that with me back home.
Yeah, you definitely did that. I noticed it.
Thank you.
I think for me, what I learned is that you can do the thing and don't ever stop adventuring. I'm 45. Like, I have weak knees. Like, uh, like
They won you 3 challenges.
this.
So.
4.
I'm so sorry.
Let's remember. But I just, out of a desire of adventure 3 years ago, learned about this whole LRG world and decided to go do one, and thought, let's give it a shot and see what happens. I went in guns blazing. Like, I didn't know what to expect, and I said, let's just have fun, let's just go for it. And I made mistakes and I messed up, and I learned a lot about things that I did in that game, but also like it gave me like a fear of, can you actually do this thing? Like, is it even worth trying again? And so I was very hesitant to put myself out there again and try. 3 years older. But I did. And I've I had actual dreams about sitting in this spot. And so to have those dreams and believe them, like these could be real, I could actually make it, especially in this game where I felt like games like these are like skill and luck. And sometimes they could lean heavy luck with, a right swap or something. I feel like this game, luck was not really on my side often. It demanded a lot of skill from me. People I was working with closely got swapped away from me. 3 allies I was working with won the standing challenge, and I had to go to the mergatory vote with 3 people not with me that I was working with. So I had to rally. Like, I had to get up and keep pushing. And so telling myself that you can do this thing and keep going and get to this spot was really big for me. And I think that moving out of this game now, it's going to continue to have me wanting to seek adventure and tell myself, like, no matter how old you get, push and have fun. Like, try to do big things and have confidence in yourself.
I hope I'm as cool as you when I'm 45.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks so much, Karen. All right, Jess, take us home.
All right.
All right. Hey, Jared.
Guys, congratulations. What incredible games you both played. So proud of you both. Cannot wait to keep key later. Okay. My jury question for you both. Keep it light, keep it fun. So we're playing a game that's based on a television show. So what makes you good TV?
Ooh.
That's fun. Okay, so I know I know in this game I was Daddy Phil. And I was caregiver and asker of questions and comforter when people were down and all of that. But I'm also high key a villain. And I own it. Like I'm not afraid to look at someone and be like, "We're good," and then write your name down. Because that's the game. And I feel like in a game like this, as many of us appreciate players like Sari, like they know what it's like to go in and have people come up to them and talk to them. And I feel like that's the kind of player I am. Like there's a warmth and an invitation just out of who I am as a person. But I think it can be a little intoxicating. And with that, it gives me agency to then go, "Hey, we're good. Bye, Jess." So I think that's what would make me good TV. Yeah.
I think if I was to have a character, it would be like Paranoia Patch. Like just like I have so many moments out here that were just so frenetic and borderline crazed that it would just be like instant fun watchable TV. But also I think there's like a real relatability to me that like I was constantly hustling and I was constantly grinding during this game. I never put my foot off the gas. I was working all the time and I absolutely fell flat on my face multiple times, but I would get right back up and be like, okay, what do I do next? And then like run around and figure it out and then fall again and run around. And I just think that's kind of fun to watch, like someone who's like so passionate and so into it and so a little bit like a loose cannon can kind of figure his way out through the whole thing. And it may not be the cleanest delivery, but it's entertaining and it gets the job done.
Hell yeah. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess, and thank you to our jury. We'll turn it back to the players here for your final closing statements. Try to keep them around 1 minute. Patch, since you started the first time, we'll have Phil start with the closing statements.
Okay. I have been fighting in this game since the day that I found out that I was going to be on this season. And I've been raising money for a charity that I care a lot about. Something that I did not share. Obviously, you know that I run the fundraising advantage. I think that that's why I was District 1. I said I raised a little over $1,000. I actually raised $6,750
Wow.
because I was going to fight. I wanted to come out here and fight, both for my charity, but for myself. And in this game, I think that that's exactly what I did. I was constantly remembering both them and who I'm fighting for and who I wanted to have be proud of me at the end of this game. And that is my family. So knowing that right here is probably my wife and kids watching this, seeing this dream come true for me is something I'm so proud of. And I truly hope that y'all would be proud of me representing our season as a winner. And I would love the honor of that. I have just treasured all of this moments that we have had. I am eager for relationships to come. As you know, it was so special the conversation we had this morning. And it's moments like that in this game that I know I will carry with me forever. But I would love to be the first name that you heard in this game and the last name you write on that parchment.
Oh, damn.
All right. Thank you, Phil. Patch, the floor is yours.
First of all, the two oldest people in this game. I think when it comes down to the game, I just invite you to just choose what you want to represent our season. And I think we played very different games. And I think we have Phil, who is a complete challenge beast and wonderful social game. And then you have me, and I feel like I always had my pulse on this game. And I was always gaining agency and gaining advantages and idols and using them correctly and using the numbers correctly. And when plans were presented to me, I jumped on them at the correct time. So I feel like we have a little bit of a battle right now between a huge physical game, and also there were amazing other things in that game, and a very strategic social game. And I think that's very fun for what the theme of this season is with the districts, you know? And I think kind of like the movie, I think I'm just this scrappy guy that just fought his way through and really, you know, spilled halfway through it and got back up. And I think my story is a strong representation of what the entire story of our season is. So I just invite you to look at how you would like to cast your vote based off that. But whatever happens, like, we get to shower soon. And I cannot wait to just keep these relationships going. And I just cannot thank everyone here for this amazing opportunity. It really is absolutely life changing.
Okay. The sooner we get to the vote, the sooner we get to those showers. So we will kick off the votes now that you have all the information that you need. We're going to start with Lindsay. Remember, you are voting for a winner.
All right. As you can see, I am heading away. What a final tribal council. Incredible. Super excited to talk with y'all about it while the jury members vote for a winner silently. And I have a special guest. We have a previous victor, aka winner, Kyle from season 2 and All Stars.
Minor appearance.
Yeah. So we are just gonna head on into our tea time spots and dissect everything you just heard, but we're gonna, I guess, do it quietly. Oh my god, incredible!
What an incredible tribal council.
They were so eloquent.
The way that they spoke and answered every question without like pause, I could not even fathom like performing like that under the pressure they're under with only 2 people. It's you or this other person. Like, you better talk. Amazing.
Amazing. And it's just, it's so fun, so eloquent, and like so different, but so the same. Like, they both really did have incredible social and strategic games. They both really were like, I've got to do what I've got to do. And they both like really embodied the characters that they talked about. I loved the I loved the personas they gave themselves. Sorry, this is anyway. Okay, I think we've got the winner now. I love the personas they gave themselves. Paranoid Patch actually super paid off because it was literally Patch making observations that Nick and Aldrian were going off without him with Jess that made him flip that pivotal vote where Nick went home that he kept talking about. It was his, I don't know, paranoia, but it was like he noticed something and then he did something about it. He trusted his gut and he acted on it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things that he has standing out for his game is that he has a move that he can point to and say, I made this move happen. I flipped on my people to get you out because you were a big target. So I think that's a big plus for Patch's game if people are looking at the strategic piece of both of their games.
Absolutely. And I think it's funny because like Vil called himself a villain. Otherwise, he also calls himself out of the game a villain because it's and we love a pun here. And it's funny because like villain and survivor means a lot of different things, but for Phil, I think he meant villain in the sense of like he was playing for himself and would not like get into alliances because he wanted to give himself a solo game. He wanted to really differentiate and he wanted to make sure like me is my alliance. Like Sandra Diaz Twine, famous winner, always says, my family is my alliance. Like they are who I'm coming home to at the end of the day.
Yes. He was so right. He is like when you talk to him, he is just so easy to talk to. It's intoxicating, and I think he pulls people in socially. Just watching him walk around camp and maneuver like with such grace, it was something like I've never seen before. Yeah. And the way he related himself to Suri Fields, I think if you watch Survivor, like that is a very accurate description of how he was playing this game. Is he was very drawing people in, but then he would just like make the move he needed to make at the time he needed to make it.
And you know what's so funny is I also was thinking of Street Fields, but from Traders.
Yes,
Same
yes,
thing.
same
Like
thing,
same
thing.
same maneuverability. So yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So I also loved how they talked about the district. It's so funny
Oh
that
my
they talk
God.
about it because District
Yes.
1 in the movies is really like this, the high performance, like challenge beast. And that's exactly what Phil was.
Yeah.
Phil,
4 immunity wins, individual on those knees.
yes,
5 out of 6 tribal wins the first day
Yeah.
as a caribou crew.
yes.
And yeah, and also like game maker turned like player.
Yes.
So cool.
Phenomenal. And then Patch, on the other hand, District 10, one of the districts that's kind of like the underdog, and his character, Paranoid Patch, kind of fits that persona where he was being scrappy and trying to find his way through this game. But I will say, for a scrappy player, he really had a pulse on this game throughout it. He was correct on every single vote, which is incredibly hard to do, to know where exactly the pieces are going to fall at every single tribal council.
Yeah, it really is, because at any point someone could be lying, someone could be shielding, someone could just, a plan could change last minute and no one thought to come to you. So big testament to his social and strategic game for sure.
Yeah. And can we also talk about the jury questions?
Oh my God. Phenomenal.
So
Phenomenal.
intentional. I like that they were multifaceted and they kind of range from the strategic side all the way to the personal side. Because sometimes they're just looking for specific things, but now we know this jury is looking for the complete package, not just one aspect of the game.
Absolutely. And like even the like silly questions like Cod's like negging the caribou camp because it was the less nice camp over Goddard, which you might have seen on the camp tours, but them both turning that question into here's how intentional I was with that time. Like, yes, I wasn't going to tribal councils and I wasn't, doing building trust that way or strengthening trust like they said at a tribal at some point at some day.
Yeah,
this week.
absolutely.
But like Phil talking about how he was like, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to see who comes to me. And not just who comes to me repeatedly. And he actually did that. And he made choices in this game based on that information.
Yeah.
I
also love that he talked about, Phil wasn't the luckiest in the tribe swaps. There was a lot going on the first few days, and he lost a lot of allies. And just his ability to sit back and observe allowed him to kind of work his way through the game into pieces till he could get to a spot where he could build that foundation to move forward. So that was really impressive.
Yeah, it sure was.
And then I loved Patch talking about planting seeds early on and how that was a mistake. Because you see that a lot where people start kind of throwing out names so they feel like they're never really gonna, grow into anything. And in this instance, they started to grow and he was like, hold up, I forgot I planted those. Like I was gonna plant something else there. And had to make the tough decision of like, do I go with this that I started or do I stop it here and kind of reset my game and redirect it? So that was pretty interesting to hear and a good reflection on, how he was playing at the time.
Yeah, very cool. Just like still in command of his game, didn't let it go off the rails just because it was like easier or natural, like really thinking about, is this the right time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm blown away still. I say.
It was, and it just, and again, like what we were saying with the jury questions, like I quickly ran out with Cam when Cam was giving the jury the lowdown of what this would be like, that everyone would get their own question. And they were all like writing down drafts of questions. They had like a list and they were like, we're ordering them. We're going to make sure like they were very, like they sounded intentional because they were intentional. And I'm really excited. I honestly have absolutely no idea who's going to win. And I know I say that every year, but I literally in my mind was like, wait, what if there's a tie? Because in my mind there was the number 8 and I was like, what if it's 4-4? Does that happen? Like how does that? And then I realized it was a jury of 9, so it's not possible. But I'm literally like, I would not be surprised if this was a 5-4. Like
Yes.
I really would not.
Yes, and you could tell the jury was undecided as they were, sitting there answering or listening to the answers to these questions. I know a lot of them are like, it really could come down to who performs better at this tribal council and who is able to articulate and own their game from the questions that they asked. I think both of them.
Which is hard because
Yes, they answer. I'm trying to think of mistakes that either of them made, but I really can't think of, from their answers. 'Cause sometimes there's like a stumble and like a finalist, might trip over a question.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear that in the distance, but they're cheering. So the votes are in. Let's not delay. Let's go find out who our sole victor is for Can You Survive District 13. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Guys, this is nice. Right. I know. Yeah. Take a picture of that. All right, and here comes host Cam with the votes.
Cameron, we want to say thank you to you too. You're an amazing host.
I didn't even get to do my thank you to everyone here.
I beat you to it.
Before we get to the votes, I'd love to thank a lot of people. First of all, our volunteers in production. Doing everything from broadcasting, cooking, challenges, social media, everything. Thank you for volunteering and making this a reality. I want to thank the pre-jury for hanging out and having a great time. The jury for playing hard and having a good final tribal council here. Our two finalists for an impressive game. Some special shout outs to the Reality Retreat and Katie and Alan. For Taylor for hosting all the challenges. And obviously for Alicia hosting our program. And one final round of applause for the person who put this all together. All right. Enough about all of them. No, this is about you two. I have the votes. You want to see your name. All right. I'll now read the votes. First vote. Pat. Second vote. Phil.
Yeah.
Third vote. Patch. Fourth vote. Phil. Fifth vote. Pat. Sixth vote. Patch. Seventh vote in the winner of Candy.
God, thank you. So well done. So well done. Wow, what a yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No, definitely. You didn't smell like that.
Yeah!
Congratulations to Patch, our Can You Survive District 13 winner. And so, wow, we're so excited. We're so excited for Patch. Incredible winner.
Yes, this was a great season. This cast was fantastic. The whole game was so much fun to watch. And I think you can tell based on the audience reaction to not only this tribal, but the entire game.
Every tribal today, vibes high.
It was so
Nice
great.
vibes.
Yes, so great. So thank you so much for watching this season. It's been fantastic. And of course, we'll be back next year with season 10 of Can You Survive? And because it's season 10, we have a fun theme. Over the past 9 seasons, we've had a lot of advantages. We've had tribes. We've had players who have, not really lived up to their full potential. So next season is going to be Can You Survive the Reckoning? And you might see some familiar faces, some familiar tribes, some familiar advantages that deserve some redemption. So we will see you next year for that. And we're actually going to be posting a interest form in probably a couple days.
Yeah, so we can't wait to see you here for Can You Survive the Reckoning Season 10. We would love to see you out here with everyone else.
Yes, we will see you next summer.